Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome everyone in today's class for the first intermediate grade. Our textbook is Super Goal 2 and today we will have Enrichment 3. It will be presented by me, teacher Mazir Harbi, and the sign language by Mr. Saleh Al-Ujan. What we're going to review today, we're going to review Unit 6, that is called Let's Celebrate, and you can find it on pages from 48 until 55. So let's make a quick review on that unit. The first thing we have studied at that unit was the concept of National Day, where we explored and learned different days of different national days of different countries, and also we talked about different forms of celebrations in each of these countries. For example, when we said the National Day in Saudi Arabia is on September 23rd, and what are the celebration or the practices that people usually do on that day is that city and towns are covered in green, people fly flags and celebrate in the streets. As for other countries that we have read, starting from Oman, we said that they have official celebrations, parades and fireworks. Also the Emirates, they celebrate the Federation of the Emirates. People decorate the streets, buildings, homes with their bright lights. As for Kuwait, we learned that they have 2 days to celebrate. The first one is the National, and the second one is the Liberation Day. They usually celebrate it with special events and fireworks. So we learned that concept, and even we read a conversation about this one, about the practices of the National Day. Not only this, but also with the vocabulary, we learned to fill the blanks with words that we can find on page 48, the words that talks about different practices in different countries. And we fill in this this exercise with these vocabularies like celebrate, decorate, celebrations, fireworks, share, and flags. And also after this we answer a yes or no question, a comprehension questions about the practices, about the celebrations that usually according to the text usually we can see at the different countries. So as you can see here this is how we answer these questions. For example, Kuwaitis celebrate their Liberation Day. The answer is yes. In the UAE, people only decorate their homes. The answer is no. They do more than this according to the text that we have read. After this, we went to the pair work, where we learn how to make questions about holidays. Questions like, when is the National Day in your country? And you can start your answer by these by saying that the National Day is on, and then you mention the date. After this, what do people usually do on that day? This is also another question that follow the first one when you open discussion by asking about the National Day. And also other question like what are you going to do on the National Day? And as we have learned that these underlined either in questions or answers can be changed. And also about invitations, we have also another part of our lesson in how to ask about invitations. For example, do you want to invite your cousins for Eid? So this is also a form of question that we use if we want to ask about invitations. After this, on page 50, we went straight to the object pronouns, and we learned in that grammar rule about the object pronouns. We said that, of course, we know the subject pronouns like I, you, he, she, we, you, and they, but what is new here is that we also have other pronouns that we called the object pronouns, and usually object pronouns comes after the verb. So for example, the object pronoun that is equal to I, myself, is me, and the object pronoun that equal to he, another person, which is him, and her. And also here we have the object pronoun that for me and you is us. And when I want to talk about you is you. And if I want to talk about other group of people, I would use them. And we learned that we use these object pronouns straight after a main verb, as you can see here. He knows me. I know him. So this is how can we use the object pronouns. And also the other part we have learned, which is about need, want, and like plus infinitive. And we gave examples like this. What do we need to buy for the celebration? We need to buy some snack. And do you want to invite your friend? Yes, I want to invite. And do you like to watch parades? Yes, I like to watch them. And we said that we use need when we're talking about something that we need, something that is necessary, that is important. And we use want if we want something at specific time. For example, what do you want for lunch? Okay. And like is about preference when we're talking about the things that we like or the things that we prefer. So this is what when can we use I like to. So these are the examples on the difference between using need, want, and like plus infinitive. After this, we learned about, or we talked about let's plus a verb, and we said that usually let's is an answer to a suggestion. For example, when someone says, what do you want to do now? What do you want to do now? So this is a question. He's looking for a suggestion. He's looking in this case for a suggestion. And if you want to answer that suggestion, you can say, okay, let's play a game, or let's have a conversation, let's go shopping, let's do so and so. So we have more than one example to mention about using let's plus the verb to either agree or disagree with the suggestion. Now, after this, we have listened to the invitations on telephone answering machines. So we have a similar chart to this. In this chart, we have different holidays like Eid al-Fitr, Eid al-Adha, or another occasion, which is a graduation party. And we have divided it into three parts: day, time, and place. And we said that now we're going to listen to three answering machines, three telephone answering machines, and replies. And what we need to do is that we're going to fill in each one of them. So the answer were like this. For Eid al-Fitr, the day was on Tuesday, the time was 11 o'clock, and the place at the parents' house. And on Eid al-Adha, it was on Wednesday, and the time was 3 o'clock, and the place was the family farm. And finally, the graduation party was on Thursday. The time is 8 o'clock, and the place was at the Lebanese restaurant. After this, we learned, or we talk about the object pronouns that not usually have strong stress in normal speech. And they are usually said quickly. We learned this, and we said that sometimes when they are in the middle of the sentences, you don't stress them very hard. So for example, when we say, does he know him well? Does he know him well? And he knows him very well. He knows him very well. You see that we said that we can pronounce these object pronouns without stressing them. Another example, does she call her often? Does she call her often? She calls her every day. She calls her every day. So this is how we can merge the object pronouns when we are speaking. After this, we have listened to a conversation between Amr and Said, when each one of them talk about their plans, and Amr trying to invite Said to the graduation party of his cousin, and also Said is asking for more details about that parties, and so to decide whether to join him at that party or not. And also next we have very interesting questions about you, where I ask you I ask you a couple of questions and I told you to think of this question when it is time for you to graduate. For example, what do people usually do for graduation? What are the activities? We discuss what are the activities, the things that people usually do for this for graduation. And also, what are you going to do for your own graduation? So you are in the first intermediate grade when you finish hopefully the third intermediate grade and you want to graduate to high school. What are your plans for your graduation party? And what's your favorite holiday? We discuss all the possibilities that you may choose, from Eid al-Fitr, Eid al-Adha, or even the graduation party or National Day. So we discuss different the ups and goods, or the good thing and the bad things about these holidays, and how do you celebrate each one of them, as we reflect on the beginning of this unit, where we talk about the different practices and different celebrations. And after this, we had a reading text about Eid celebrations, where in this text we read about the different practices and celebrations in different Islamic countries. And we said that what is the common feature of Eid celebration is that people usually do their best to be kind and generous to each other, and they donate food to the poor, and as you know, we call it zakat al-fitr. And also in some areas they usually, people or neighbors, place large rugs just for the other neighbors to gather and celebrate Eid as well. Also, and we talk about Eid al-Adha, what are the practices and the celebrations in Eid al-Adha. We said that in Eid al-Adha, people or Muslims usually all over the world, they sacrifice an animal, and depending on the region, sometimes some of them sacrifice a lamb, a goat, or a camel, or even a cow. And the family shares the meal with each other and get together for a special meal. So we have talked about these features of different Eids, Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha, in most of the Islamic countries. And also we have detected from that reading text a couple of important words, like for example, widely celebrated holiday. If you remember, we said, what do you mean by widely? It means that by a large number of people. So this holiday is celebrated by a large number of people. And also when we said they show their generosity, it means that they show the spirit of giving or sharing freely. They giving or sharing freely. And also when we said that Muslims usually donate food at the end of Ramadan, it means that they give away in order to help the poor people in the Muslim world. So this is some of the important vocabularies that we highlighted from this reading text. Also, as a discussion, I ask you to choose a holiday and discuss it with a partner and compare how to celebrate the holiday with your families. And we found it that interesting after reading that text to compare between our celebration or your own celebration with the celebrations that you read on the text. So it was a very good idea to discuss with an adult or a family member of yours to talk about these celebrations and these practices of Eid. After this, we went to the writing lesson, and we said that we had a very interesting exercise, and it's unique, which is to find 22 words in the word search that are related to celebrations, and 12, of course, words across, and 10 of them were down, to shade them with a pencil. And after you do this, what you need to do is to write the remaining letters to find a hidden message. And if you remember that when we finish doing this, when we find the 12 words across, and when we find the 10 words down, we have some letters remains, and we find out that, if you remember, the phrase was let's celebrate, which is the title of our unit. So it was a very interesting exercise. After this, we have another exercise where I ask you to read the invitation for a graduation party and to work with a partner. Ask and answer questions starting with who, what, where, and when, and why. And we gave example of this. This was a simple graduation invitation card. And as you can see here, we have the phrase, please join us to celebrate the graduation of Ahmed Al Faisal, and this is the time. It will be on Saturday, May 15th at 6 p.m. And this is the place, which is the Oasis restaurant in Mecca Road, on Mecca Road. So this was a very simple invitation card. And if you remember that we did ask questions about that invitation card, the question starting with, for example, who is the graduation party for? Ahmed Al Faisal. And where is it going to be? It will be in Oasis restaurant on Mecca Road. And when it's going to be, it will be on Saturday, May 15th at 6 p.m. And why are they having such a graduation party? To celebrate the graduation after long years of studying. So we had a similar questions like this, and also I ask you to write your own invitation card and also fill in the information that were similar to this. So here, as you can see, decide which holiday. This one of these exercises that we trained on. Decide which holiday celebration you're going to write about in exercise D, and design an invitation and invite your friends to celebrate. And also write about a holiday, a celebration in your country. Include the date, the clothing, the food, the special events, or the traditional practices, and use vocabularies from the word search and ideas from this unit. So just to emphasize the importance of the graduation party, you can write a similar one or a similar card to this, but mention the date, the clothing, the food, and the special events that will be happening, or the practices that will be happening on that day. So we had a similar one to this, and also this was a similar to one of these exercises as a project where I ask you to celebrate research a celebration in another country, and to present your finding in class, just to find out the differences between the celebration that you are familiar with in your country with a different one. After this, it was the last part of the unit where we had in the form, meaning, and function, we learned the difference between must and mustn't, and should and shouldn't. We said that must and should are usually, we call them modal verbs, and the form of the modal verb do not change or doesn't change at all according to the subject. And after the modal verbs, must and should, we use the base form, the same form of each verb. So for example, let's start with must. Must expresses the obligation, the necessity, the importance of something that is very important to do. For example, when we say, we must follow the rules. We must follow the rules, or we must stop at the traffic lights. So we are indicating the importance and the necessity of doing something. And must not or mustn't, it means that something is prohibited, something is not allowed. And we gave examples like this. You mustn't talk during the test, or they mustn't park on the sidewalk. So this was the part of must. The other part about should and shouldn't, we said that we usually use should or shouldn't to give advice or to make a suggestion that may be important, but it gives the listener the choice. So of course we're talking here, we use should for important things, but at least the listener has the choice to do it or not to do it. For example, with should, when we said that we should donate to the poor. We should donate to the poor. This is giving an advice. And also, when we said she shouldn't spend all her money, this is also a suggestion or an advice. So to make a suggestion or to give an advice, we give or we use either should or shouldn't. So here are all of them in one slide, the importance of must and mustn't and should and shouldn't. And also we did answer a couple of questions about must. For example, the first one, change the imperatives that you can see here with sentences using must and mustn't. And so we have imperative like this, do your homework tonight. And we use it using must. We said, I must do my homework tonight. And we answer the following similar to the first one. And also with exercise B, complete the sentences with should and shouldn't and the verb that we can see between brackets. And we said, for example, Yahya's tooth hurts. He should see a dentist. He should see a dentist. So this is how we completed the other answers as you can see here. And also the last thing we did on that page is that exercise C, where I ask you to work in group, plan the end of the year celebration for your class, and think about the date, the time, the place, the food and drinks, invitation, the guests, and activities using should or must. So I ask you to imagine that you're going, or maybe for real, that you're going to host a at the end of the year celebration for ending the year, and just to try to design a similar card to this and write down the information like the date, the place, the guests, the practices. And to make it easier for you, you can answer these questions just to have an idea about what you're going to write. For example, when should we have this celebration? Here to talk about time. Where should we have it? Here we're talking about place. And should we have a decorations? Yes or no, and what are they? So this was a fun exercise to do. So now we have reached the end of our lesson. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.